guys, so today's tutorial is going to be on this universal prom look. So it doesn't have really any bold specific colors. It's very neutral. It has just grayish, your browns, your neutral colors. So it's very universal to any dress you're wearing or any event for that matter. So if you guys want to know how to get this look, so keep on watching. So the first thing we want to do is prime our face, because if you are going out somewhere, if you're going dancing, you can sweat a little bit, you definitely want to make sure that all the foundation stays in place. That's the most important thing. Almost the most important thing. I'm just using the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. And then next thing, I'm going to go ahead and prime our eyes. This is the most important because if we are doing a very bold smoky eye, you definitely want to make sure that it stays in place, that it does not smudge, it does not go anywhere while you're dancing, having lots of fun. So you want to make sure you're putting a generous amount all over your lid and even under. For the shadow, I'll mainly be using the Too Faced Bon Bon Chocolate Palette right here. And we're going to go ahead and actually prime, kind of set the eye that we just primed. So I'm going to use this bottom shade right here. I'm just going to take a nice big brush and just kind of put it all over the lid, and this is going to make sure we're just setting everything. It's going to give us a nice, clean, smooth and even canvas to work with. So I'm actually going to go ahead and do my eyebrows right before we jump into the eyes. I'm just using the Trio Flawless Brow, my 203 MAC brush. Let me know, guys, if you want a tutorial on how I do my brows, because I mean, I don't know if I really have a technique. I guess there's like a billion brow tutorials online now. Since we are going to do a smoky eye, we're going to do like a prom look, so I'm actually going to be using some tape. Always want to make sure you're starting with clean brushes so you don't have any color contamination. Just trust me, I've done it a lot. So the first shade, we're going to go ahead and just use this one right up top here. And the name is Almond Truffle. Sounds delicious. And this is going to be our transition shade. We're just going to put that kind of all over the whole entire crease. And this is going to be our highest color to the brow bone. So you can go ahead and just kind of not worry how neatly it's going to be, and just put it all over the crease with a nice big fluffy brush. You do want to make sure you are kind of blending it out so you're not having a patchiness. And then whatever product you have left over, you can kind of bring it upwards to the brow bone, but don't let it go into the brow. So what this pretty much does, it just kind of gives you that very nice transition shade of when you're going to put the other colors in, and when you blend the other colors, they're going to create a very soft gradient versus having some harsh lines. I mean, it depends on the look. Sometimes you want to do like a cut crease and you want that sharp. But we're not doing really cut crease. We're just going to do a very smoky, we're going to create a very dark corner out here, and then we're really going to bring it in with a nice light shades. And I don't know what I did there. My brow hairs are going all over the place. This is from the BH Natural palette, or the BH Essentials. It's a very almost like a white, shimmery, satiny color. So I'm going to go ahead and actually highlight the brow bone. I'm going to go very lightly because I don't want like a stark white. I just want a very soft highlight. And I feel like the Balmain palette doesn't really have a nice cool tone highlight. I'm just taking a brush with no product on it or whatever we had left, and I'm just going to kind of blend it out with this little highlight. I'm not going on the highlight, I'm going right below the highlight just to make sure everything's nice and transitioned. This is from the BH Cosmetics Eye Essential palette. It's kind of like a gray, it's like a gunmetal color. And I'm actually going to use this color before we're going to move on to the color from the Bon Bon palette. We're going to put this only in our crease area, so we're not really going anywhere with it. You're pretty much going in a 45-degree angle line, so you're just kind of going up and down, and nowhere else. So you just kind of want to create this. Now I'm going into the Bon Bon palette, and we're going to take this. At first I thought it was kind of like a green color, but then when I actually swatched it, it was kind of like almost like a blue-gray color. It had like a pearlescent of a blue, and I thought it was a really pretty color. So I'm going to go ahead and use like a definer brush. This is a Lexi 231, I believe. Yes, this is a Lexi 231. And I'm going into that shadow. And once again, I'm keeping it in this crease, but I'm going to slowly start out in bringing to the center. So I'm just keeping this in the corner, and I'm going to start to bring this at the lash line, and I'm going to smoke this out a little bit. I'm going like 1/3 of the way. So I'm not bringing it to the center, but only like 1/3, and I'm going to kind of smoke all of this out and smudge this out and create a nice even gradient to where we don't have any eyeshadow. So it comes further at the top versus the bottom. So it makes a diagonal line. The next color we're going to take is actually going to be bring a little bit more of the warmth. So we're going to go ahead and take the Mocha color right here. And what we're going to do is actually go right above this dark shadow we just put on. And we're actually going to smoke out in the edge. We're keeping it really tight to the actual, like the darker shadow. Because we want to make sure that it's kind of smoked out and there aren't any harsh lines. And you do not want to bring this up high, because then you'll just have way too much and too dark of a shadow going on. I'm also going to bring this to the front, but I'm going to keep it above my main lid space. And I'm going to blend this middle part as well. But I'm keeping it in the same space. I'm not going up or down. I'm just keeping it in one motion in the same space area. So I'm going to take a matte black color, and I'm going to put just a little bit, because you have to be very careful with black colors because it can get messy real quick. We're going to take this and keep it at the 1/4 of our lid, so it's only going to go in the very corner. We're just darkening out this crease with an intense black color. And then when you have almost nothing on the brush, you just kind of bring it up a little bit. I'm going back into the Earl Grey color, which is the main color we put from the Bon Bon palette. And I'm going to just intensify this crease. Try to keep it very close to the center of this whole entire color, because I do want it a little bit darker, so I want to intensify this. What I'm going to do is actually take it in the bottom as well, but just only at the very corner. So only like 1/3 of the outer corner. And I'm going back into that Mocha color and blending it out again. And also blends it out the end of this color. So not the whole entire lid, but just the end of this color. You kind of want to smoke it out with this Mocha color. So now we can go ahead and take off this tape. So after we took off this tape, I'm going to go in with Mocha again. And I'm just going to soften up this edge. Just a little bit. Because we don't want it like to be super intensely sharp. I'm gonna go ahead and actually intensify the brow bone because I feel like now since we have a darker color going on that it can be a little bit more intense. And I am taking a little bit fluffier brush because I do want to make sure if I did have any other colors that went too high that I'm blending them out, as well as I'm highlighting the brow bone. I'm going to go ahead and use a beige base for this, and this is just going to make sure that the shadow sticks very well and it's going to be very pigmented. So I'm just going to put this on the inner eye, like our eyelid. So I'm just using a eyeshadow brush and I'm going to spray some setting spray on it. And I'm gonna go ahead and go into this Caffeinite. No idea how to say that, but okay. And this is going to go starting from the center and going into the inner corner of our eye. And then when it comes to the center, I'm just going to kind of pat it to blend in the center part. And when it comes to the bottom, I'm actually going to take it further out versus when it's at the top. Again, going back with Mocha and really getting this top part blended out. And what I'm actually going to do is take a very precise pencil brush and I'm going to take Mocha and really get it at the very edge of that lighter color. And if you want a little bit more of the darker color, blend it in towards, then you just take a, don't dip any more color on the brush, just use the brush with whatever remaining color it has, because trust me, it will have a lot of color still on the brush that you might not expect, and you might just dab it in and go too far with the dark shadow. So I'm going back with the color that we highlighted our brow bone and just putting it on a pencil brush, and I'm going to highlight the inner corner. I also like to extend the inner corner of the eye with a lighter color just because it really opens up the eye, even though we are going to say blend a darker color next to it. So whenever you're trying to clean under your eyes, if you don't have a makeup wipe on hand or you just don't have any makeup wipes at all, a good way to is take a tissue and make sure they're not like ones that have like stuff on them. What you want to do is just put some lotion on the very end, and this could just be a regular moisturizing lotion, and the oils in the lotion will actually help you take off any of the makeup from the under eyes. And it's much softer and better on your eyes versus if you're just taking a dry Kleenex and trying to clean that up. So now since I have my foundation and concealer on, I'm going to go ahead and actually move on to the lower lash line. And for the lower lash line, it's going to be very simple. We're just going to take a darker color and just kind of blend. Since we already have darker color here, I'm going back with the same mocha color, and we're going to just smoke everything out and just kind of make sure everything looks in harmony. So I personally feel like I want more pop on my lids. So I'm actually going to go ahead and use, so I'm going into the Foiled Shadow by BH Cosmetics. I'm actually going to be using these two shadows right here. I'm going to mix them a little bit because one is a little bit too pink and the other one's a little too muted. And you can tell it's definitely much brighter and more intense. Definitely wanted like a more of a contrast on the inner part and the outer part of my eye. So the next thing we're going to do is apply black liner. When I'm going to be applying the eyeliner, I'm going to actually start from the center out and create a wing, and I'm not going to actually apply anything in the inner corner just yet. So I'm starting out from the center and working my way out. Always start out with a thin line, even though you're planning on doing a very bold liner. Always start out with a thin line. And I'm going to bring it into the inner corner. Very thin. Make sure you give yourself time to blink. So the lashes I'm going to be using are actually Kiss 01. And these are just nice, soft lashes. They're not very too bold. Because when you have something like this, you don't, I mean, you can do very bold lashes. I would definitely maybe do like longer lashes, but I wouldn't recommend doing too heavy of a lash because going a whole night and sweating and dancing is just, can get a little overwhelming. So just applying some glue on them and just waiting for them to get tacky. So while I'm waiting on my lashes, I'm actually going to go ahead and apply some mascara to my lashes. And I'm going to be using more of like a comb-like mascara just because I want to brush out my lashes. So after applying my lash, I just like to take like one of these little crimper, I call it a crimper, but what I do is I just get in really close to the lash line and press my lashes against these lashes that I just put on. I'm just going to go with the mascara and make sure that my bottom lashes are kind of glued and stuck to the other lashes. And then I'm going to go ahead and spray the whole entire face. For the lips, I definitely want to go with something much softer, so I'm going with Stripped by BH Cosmetics in the lip liner. And I'm just normally lining and I'm not overlining anything. So next I'm going in with the ColourPop Midi. And then I'm going to go ahead and add Endura by BH Cosmetics, which is very similar to Lumiere 2. This is ColourPop Lumiere 2 and this is Endura. So Endura is a little bit more of a darker color than Lumiere 2. And I'm going to put that just in the center. And I'm just taking a lip brush and blending everything out.